Okay, let's go ahead and open up the doors, folks. We are live here on Zoom for Daily with Doc and Becca. If you would like to join us, come on in and go to dailywithdoczoom.com. That is dailywithdoczoom.com. And we do have a sign up where you can sign up for our newsletter, get some reminders about our shows, and also get the replays with the descriptions of our previous week's shows by going to dailywithdoc.com and sign up for our newsletter there. And another sign up you do not want to miss is dwdgiveaway.com. DWD, like Daily with Doc, giveaway.com. We are going to be saying thank you to those who like our channels and share our content with those in their audiences by giving prizes. So make sure that you go to dwdgiveaway.com and sign up for our giveaways. I love to gift things. So if you would like to gift something that is related to what we talk about, then you don't want to miss out on that. My name is Becca Dukes. I am the Student Services, the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, and a trainer with the Institute of Holistic Health, plus the hostess of Daily with Doc and a contributing member of the Critical Health newsletter team. And we just want to welcome each and every one of you. We are a resource for an amazing community of people who are health-minded and have a heart for others. So if you are health-minded, have a heart for others, or even just want to help yourself, your family, your community, you are in the right place. Because on our program, we provide empowering information that allows you just to that you are able to do all on your own in the comfort of your own home. So our bodies were not designed to have to depend on a chemical to keep going, not a man-made chemical anyways. We are made from the dust of the earth. We require vitamins. We require minerals. We require amino acids and essential fatty acids in order to not just barely survive, but actually thrive. And that is something that we are going to be talking about today on Daily with Doc. This program is sponsored by Daily with Doc. And if you have never spoken to anybody before, you are welcome to go to our website, check out our store, and if you would like to get connected with a health coach to help you on your journey, and you have never ordered and you have never spoken to anybody before, we do have that contact option there on the website. But most importantly, if you have spoken to somebody before and they shared this program with you, get back with the person or the resource that shared this program with you. We want to make sure that their efforts, that their heart is being thanked from the person that is benefiting from the program. Okay? I know there's a lot of information that's going to be shared here. The person that shared this program with you probably will be able to help you with what's recommended. And if you have a question that you would like to ask, please put it in the chat, whether you're here live with us, which is actually very beneficial for those that are live with us, because we have our co-hosts that are putting information into that chat with dictation of what the doctor will be recommending today, plus additional information that will be sharing resources to help you on your health journey. So we are all about creating, maintaining, obtaining a health journey of wellness. We're not about managing sickness, folks. So listen up as we are getting started with Daily with Doc. Now, again, yes, thank you so much, Kathy. If you have a question and you are live with us, make sure that you raise your hand, as we will be doing questions and answers towards the second half of our program. And I will be calling on people in the order that their hands are raised. So folks, we are honored to be able to have with us one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics. Epigenetics is proven the theory of disease transmission through genetics to be incorrect and false. I don't know about you, but that sentence is hope, is light, something that nobody else ever told me, because I was told that I had genetic conditions and I would have to live with them the rest of my life. Well, thankfully, I heard the doctor that we have here today, and I followed his instructions, and I have none of those quote unquote genetic conditions anymore. And my joy is to be able to share this information with you. So without further ado, I would like to welcome to the screen with me Dr. Joel Wallach. He has a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, a doctorate of veterinary medicine, 3 postdoctorates in pathology, and is a naturopathic physician. Dr. Wallach, welcome to Daily with Doc.
Well, thank you so much for the history here and the kind words. And that's it. We're here to bring information to people so they can spend more time with people they love and doing the things they love to do. We can help them add 25 to 50 healthful years to their life. And so we're very excited about that. Okay.
Well, I want to say, you said a key word, healthful, Dr. Wallach, because you can extend somebody's life by putting them on medications and putting them on machines, but that's not a type of life that you can enjoy. So healthful is very important here, folks.
Yeah, you don't want to live 2 years longer in a bed with 16 machines on you, and there's so much noise from machines you can't even hear yourself think. And you have to be catheterized because you can't get out of bed to go to the bathroom and all this kind of stuff. You don't want to be there. You want to be healthful and be able to function as a normal human being. Okay, so where are we going to start?
Well, Dr. Wallach, let's talk about the 90 essential nutrients, because I know a lot of people, when I'm talking to them, oh, I take my vitamins. Well, it's more than just vitamins, right?
Correct. And of course, there's 90 essential nutrients, 90 for life, okay? 90 for life. And these are things that are very interesting because they have such wide responsibilities and functions. We need 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 fatty acids to be perfect. If any one of those is missing, you're going to have a problem. Okay.
What's the difference between amino acids and fatty acids?
Okay. Well, both amino acids and fatty acids are carbon compounds. Okay. And I'm sorry?
Meaning?
Oh, meaning plants can make amino acids. Plants can make, what is it we're talking about here?
Fatty acids.
Fatty acids. And also, if you have fatty acids, plants can make them, okay, because they're carbon. And plants take carbon dioxide out of the air, and they make essential fatty acids. They make amino acids. They can make proteins and so forth, because those are made from carbon. Minerals are a different story. And the knowledge about minerals actually came first because it's very dramatic. People first learned about minerals when they started realizing that they could live longer and be healthier and stronger, more functional if they use salt. And there are 2 forms of salt. Number one, they could get salt by boiling seawater, and the water would evaporate and the salt was left. There's also salt mines on the land where there had been oceans thousands of years before, okay, and went away and then left the salt there. And so they learned that when they use salt, not just drink water to rehydrate, sweating out in the fields and mines and so forth, when they added salt to the program, that added many, what should I say, healthful things, and added many healthful things to their life because they could work longer. They weren't exhausted in an hour. They could work 8, 10, 12 hours. Also, their digestion was better because salt had something to do with digestion. Hydrochloric acid is made from chlorine. Chlorine comes with sodium chloride, salt. Okay, that's where it comes from. So you need salt to be able to make your stomach acid so your digestive system will work. So they learned about all that. Also, they learned when they would use when they would use salts that came from these mines where there had been oceans thousands of years earlier, that people with goiter, their thyroid would get better and the goiter would go away. Now, they didn't know if it was iodine, but they knew there was something in sea salt. There was something about that made goiter go away. Okay, and so they're learning about all this stuff thousands of years ago just by simple observations. And so this is how they got started on the track of giving these things to their animals too, because animals would get sick and so forth. And so they would give them sea salt and salt blocks and so forth for their horses and their cows and so forth. And it improved the animals' lives and so forth. If they had some diseases, some of the diseases would go away when you give them the sea salts, okay, salt blocks and so on. And then amino acids, again, are carbon compounds, and they are the building blocks for proteins, like muscle, okay? And a major part of a lot of hormones. Hormones are a mixture of things, okay? Including minerals and amino acids and fatty acids and so forth, okay? So it's essential. That's why these are essential nutrients, and 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 acids, 3 fatty acids. And people, when they don't do the simple things, it costs them big time. Osteoporosis, very simple nutritional deficiency disease, okay? When you take 3 communities, the United States, Canada, and the European Union, 3 communities, add them together, each year we spend just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure, but just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis, we spend $6.5 trillion with a T, $6.5 trillion. That's
A lot of money, Dr. Wallach.
a lot of money. And that's just to make your bones happier. Okay. And it can add many healthful years to your life when you don't have osteoporosis. In fact, there was some famous guy just died a couple of days ago. He had osteoporosis and arthritis and some horrible skin disease. He never named the skin disease, but said some terrible historical skin disease. So I don't know what that was. But he had the second thing they mentioned was terrible osteoporosis. And he died, I think it was 47 years old.
And he was an athlete.
And he was an athlete.
So you had mentioned something about making the bones happy. Is it making them happy using chemicals, or is it masking the symptoms?
Well, it's masking the symptoms, not making the bones happy. It's just telling the bones, there's no problem here. Okay. And there is a problem. But when you take these prescription drugs, it relieves the pain, inflammation, swelling, and all this kind of stuff. But it still can't help your bone marrow make white blood cells and antibodies and platelets and red blood cells. You still need, the 90 essential nutrients, including iron and copper to make red blood cells. Now you think about that, okay? And you need selenium to support your immune system, which includes the white blood cells and so forth that your bone marrow makes. You need the selenium. And so you can eat all the sugar you want, you have plenty of energy, but you're going to die early because you don't have these nutrients that are necessary for the equipment to work properly and meet the maximum, which came out 3,000 years ago in the Old Testament said, and God said, man's years shall be 120. And it's quite true. You look at the Hunzas, they don't have any medical doctors. They live in the valleys below the Himalayan mountains. Their life expectancy is 120. Many live to be 130, 140, 150. And of course, we have the most and the best medical doctors. Just ask them. Okay. And guess what? Our life expectancies, depending on whose numbers you're looking at, is 71 to 75.
So you had mentioned that the plants make the essential fatty acids and plants can make the amino acids.
And
So,
vitamins.
and vitamins. So would a vegetarian lifestyle give you everything that you need to thrive?
No,
What would be missing?
minerals. Because nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. And you can be eating the same recipe that your twin brother, or twin sister is eating, and they live 3 counties or away or in another country, but you're using the same recipes, and they don't have a single health problem. Okay, and you're on 15 prescription medications and have to go see doctors 3 days a week, and and get treatments and so forth, and you're a mess. And yet you're doing the same things your twin brother and sister are doing, and they don't have any problems. And then you have the same genes. So what's going on here? Well, your twin brother, twin sister, their food is being grown in an area where there's minerals in the soil from volcanoes, okay, replacing the minerals every year. We used to have places like that in the United States. Remember, I said we used to have places like that. That was before electricity. We had what was called bottomland. Every spring, the glaciers would grind up the rocks, and the rock dust was white, and it made the water coming down in the creeks from the mountains look like milk. Going back to the old Bible days, the people who lived the longest lived in the lands flowing with milk and honey. It wasn't cow's milk or goat's milk or sheep's milk or camel's milk. It was glacial milk. And the book, Rare Expenditures, chapter 10, the whole chapter is entitled Glacial Milk, and goes into the history of the glacial milks and why that's land flowing with milk and honey was conceived, okay, by the writers of the Bible. It was a very, very astute observation. Now, they didn't know why, but they knew that milk coming down the mountain every spring was beneficial. Now, the same thing happened on bottomland here in America. Bottomland would flood in the spring, and when the flood water would evaporate or dissipate or go down into the soil, it left a layer, variable thickness, depending on where it came from. It left a layer of mineral dust, and the farmers would just plow that back in every spring, okay? And we were getting our minerals that way. And if you owned bottomland, you were happy because you didn't have to buy fertilizer. It was naturally fertilizing itself. But when electricity came out, okay, when electricity came out in 1882, suddenly now, and especially when it came down to the year 1900, and we had the dams, okay, to actually build a lake behind the dams, and then we'd run the lake water through the turbines to generate electricity, okay, and there was no more bottomland anymore because the dams were stopping that mineral dust from getting down into the valleys.
Where I have a farm in Washington, Dr. Wallach, there's this one area that they have pictures of what that area looked like before the dams were put in. This was just above Grand Coulee. And that area was just flourishing with all the different fruit trees and gardens and things that were at that time providing food for the area. And now it's all underwater.
Well, that's because of hydroelectric. The dams stopped those minerals from getting to the fields. And now farmers have to pay for fertilizer too.
Those fields, Dr. Wallach, they're no longer available.
Well, there you go.
You can't even swim deep enough to touch the ground where those farms used to be. And then, of course, like what you're saying, the minerals that are flowing down are being stopped and probably building up right there at the bottom of the dam, which I have heard one of your recommendations to rectify the solution of no minerals in the bottomlands, which I think is just brilliant, and using an auger and pushing those minerals downstream. But something that you've been talking about, Dr. Wallach, you've been going through the plants. I'm a meat eater. Okay, I'm an omnivore. I love my plants. I love my meat. where does meat fall in when it comes to 90 essential nutrients? Does it play any type of positive role in a diet?
Of course. You get protein, obviously, so you get amino acids by eating meat, but you're also getting minerals. You're getting iron from red blood cells that are, red blood cells that are in the meat. You're also getting the selenium, which is very necessary for muscle health and liver health and so forth. And if the farmer was giving these animals minerals and trace mineral salt blocks, you'd be getting some other things also, particularly if you're eating the liver, because the liver stores all these minerals and amino acids and vitamins and things. The liver does 50 different things. And so the people who ate the livers, and this is kind of interesting, when you look at the old plantation days, not in all places, but in more than half the places, the slaves lived longer than the plantation owners, because the slaves were eating the bones, not the meat. They're making bone.
Making bone broth.
Bone broth, yeah. Okay. They're making bone broth. Also, they're eating the liver. And so they're getting all these minerals and trace minerals and antibodies and all this kind of stuff. And the plantation owners are getting protein, high quality protein from the meat, the steaks. That was it. And so the plantation owner might live to be in their 50s or 60s. And many of these Uncle Toms and Uncle Remuses, these wonderful stories of these slaves who lived a long time, they lived to be 90, 100, 110, 120, and so forth. And why would the plantation slaves who were being, quote, abused, unquote, live to be 120, and the plantation owners who are, living the life of Riley, so to speak, they're dying in their 50s and 60s. It was the nutrition.
So I had a question that just popped up, and it's kind of relates to this, is sickle cell anemia. Okay, was that something that was as talked about or considered genetic back then as it is today?
Well, they didn't know much about sickle cell anemia back then as sickle cell anemia because they didn't have microscopes back in the day. So they couldn't see the shape, the sickle shape of the sickle cells. But once we had microscopes, you could see, oh, this is why they're having trouble breathing. This is why they just don't do well. Okay, their blood cells are funny shapes. Well, that's because the bone marrow was not getting the nutrients it needed to make the proper shaped red blood cells. Okay, and so the treatment the medical system came up with was to give bone marrow transplants with normal bone marrow, because people who had sickle cell anemia as an embryo, the mother was missing something, and their bone marrow was tweaked the wrong direction and made sickle cells. And if you had 10% sickle cells, nobody even knew about it. But if you had 50% sickle cells or 75% sickle cells, you were in trouble. Okay, they didn't carry oxygen very well. You just had respiratory problems all the time, and you would bleed to death if you got a little cut. And so they came up with a bone marrow transplant so that you had normal blood. But if the mother is getting all the 90 essential nutrients prior to conception, there won't be any more sickle cell anemia, because it's not a genetic thing. It's a nutritional deficiency of the bone marrow of the embryos. When the bone marrow is being formed in the embryos, not getting what it needs, and so you get sickle cells instead of the round cells.
Okay, so with that being said, Dr. Wallach, the bone marrow transplant, is that fixing the problem, the underlying cause?
It can permanently fix the problem, because those healthy red blood cells are promoting and making more healthy red blood cells. Because they're transplanting the bone marrow, they're not just giving a blood transfusion. They're transplanting the bone marrow, so the bone marrow will make healthy red blood cells.
And this book right here, Dr. Wallach,
there you go.
You can find it at drjwallach.com. That's drjwallach.com. Black Gene Lies, folks. So there's so many things, Dr. Wallach, that's been tagged or identified with different cultures, with different skin colors. saying that it's genetic. And you have proven through my favorite book, which I have buried here behind my cup, Epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. So if you're looking for a pair of books that give you empowering information on how to take back the health of a community or a society or a culture, this is a great pair right here. Black Gene Lies and also Epigenetics. And it should be criminal, Dr. Wallach, that people are given tags based on any type of, demographic. It's just not right. But there's things that we can do, folks. We are empowered individuals, and it's definitely in our hands. Even if there's something going on, there are things we can do to help us be the best we can be. And I have to make this disclaimer because the FDA requires us to let you know that this program is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, and the products are not meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But folks, as these books share, and he has a total of 24 books, getting ready to publish another, we are not chemical deficient, we're nutrient deficient. And as human beings that are continually generating new cells, when the raw ingredients that are going into the body improve, the cells are going to improve also. It's just cause and effect. It's simple science, Dr. Wallach.
That is correct. And
simple science.
By doing these simple things, you'll save an enormous amount of money. You will save an enormous amount of unnecessary misery, and you'll add many, many healthy years to your life. I mean, it's a win-win-win-win situation. And the only thing that makes me angry is that health insurance only pays for symptom relief and also surgeries and stuff like that. But health insurance wouldn't pay to give somebody the nutrients necessary to have a healthy baby.
Yeah. They cover a prenatal, Dr. Wallach, that is minimal. And you've mentioned a couple different nutrients. Are all nutrients created equal? Because I know we've talked about them, plants. Many people, when they think of minerals, they think of rock. And then you also have the lab created. Are they created equal?
Well, the minerals they're the minerals. Okay, they're usually in something else. They're, for instance, nutritional minerals can be in clay, and nutritional minerals can be in bones. Nutritional minerals can be in rock, and so you just have to be able to dig them out. Okay, whatever source they're in. Vitamins. Okay, I get people all the time. I say, "Do you take vitamins?" "Oh yeah, I take vitamins every day." "What do you take?" "I take vitamin C." "Well, what about the other 16 vitamins?"
Yeah.
Okay. Your body can't make them. Okay. That's why they're called essential nutrients. You cannot make them. You have to take them in. And, there's several sources, for instance, of beta carotene, vitamin A. There's fewer sources of B vitamins. Okay. B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6. So,
and all of what you just mentioned, Dr. Wallach, are needed throughout the whole entire body.
For your whole life.
For your whole life. That's right. Well, thank you, Dr. Wallach. I think we've got a lot of information shared there, and we have several hands that are up with questions also in the different platforms. So let's first go to Kathy, Dr. Wallach. Kathy, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hi.
I'd like to know of someone who has bad diarrhea. What can they take? Well, it's really me. Sometimes I don't really eat 3 meals a day, but I can have episodes of
Well,
diarrhea.
okay, well, there's many causes of diarrhea. Okay, you can be eating certain poisons and you'll get diarrhea. You eat, let's see here, you take things like too much oils, like salad dressings, you'll get diarrhea. You can get diarrhea by eating too many vitamins. Vitamin C will give you take a large dose of vitamin C, you'll get diarrhea. Okay, and so you need to look at what you're eating. Are you eating gluten, wheat, bran, and oats, or eating buckwheat and have phagopyrenes? They will all give you diarrhea. Okay.
You know, I cut back on a lot of them things like you told me to do earlier. But sometimes, I mean, I didn't eat all day, and I still had diarrhea. Was not eating nothing.
Okay. Well, do you live in a household where you have other people live there?
Yes.
Do they eat gluten?
Yes.
Do you wash your clothes in the same washer and dryer they do?
Yes.
Do you sit on the same couch they do?
Yes.
Do you use the same washcloths and even washing them? Do you use the same washcloths and towels that they use?
Not really. I have my own.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. But you have to make sure there's no contact. Food, clothes, beds, rugs, chairs. Okay, because you get cross-contaminated. Just the dust of them eating crackers at the same table with you, the dust gets in the air and the dust gets on your food. As they're sitting just a foot or two away from you at the dinner table, the breakfast table. And they're eating gluten. You're not, but that dust from them eating crunchy gluten toast and pancakes and waffles and cookies and stuff like that, crackers, it gets in your food and you're getting gluten, even though you're not taking gluten consciously, you're getting it sort of secondhand. Okay. So you need to clean up all that.
Okay.
Well, and I know we need to read the labels if we're taking pharmaceuticals. On pharmaceuticals, many of them have that as a side effect as well. So just something else to think about, folks. All right, thank you, Kathy. Next, Dr. Wallach, let's go to David. David, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you'd like to turn your camera on, you may do so now.
Oh, good. We finally got that solved. All right. Hey, Doc. I'm following up with you on something that we had first talked about on Fred's Monday nights. So a few weeks back, I had some blood work done, and the doctor, was concerned about the cholesterol and a couple other things. And you had asked me if I was on the immune egg thing yet, and I said no. I had ordered it, but it had not come in when the blood had been taken. You said, well, see about getting some more blood work done, and see what the doc says and that stuff. Well, I have the results here of the blood work, and the result. The cholesterol has lowered, although it is still on borderline high, because it was, I think, around 230 something before, but now it's around 202. There was a couple of other things here that he had mentioned to me that he was concerned about as well, with the glucose or the HbA1c being at 6.4, the LDL-CALC being at 146, and the HDL at 37.
Okay, so stop there.
Yes.
Okay, so with all that goop, okay, what did the doctor tell you to do?
Well, first of all, he was saying that if we weren't going to go ahead and do anything right now, that we're going to go ahead and wait again until October, as he had originally said, he also said that if you think that I need to get more blood work done, you need to place the order yourself. Talking about you, because he said, "Who is this Doc Wallach that you're talking about?" And I said, "Well, this is my nutritionist," and I talked with him on Zoom, and he says, "Well, if he wants more blood work done, he needs to order it himself." But he was telling me, look, you don't need to get any fancy things, just have a good diet. And I'm like, sure, okay, whatever. I didn't argue with him. And so but he wants me to watch my diet intake, and we'll be doing blood work again in October.
Okay, well, you have to appreciate that cholesterol is an essential nutrient like oxygen. Cholesterol is an essential nutrient like oxygen. Okay? Cholesterol makes up, depending on what part of the brain you're talking about, 25 to 50% of your brain is cholesterol. Most people don't know that. Doctors don't know that. That's why they say stupid things, okay? Because they don't know that cholesterol makes up 25 to 50% of your brain. That's why we have the I-26 product, I-26. It has the healthy cholesterol in it, okay? And it comes in chewables, soft chewables, vanilla ice cream flavor, which is my favorite, okay? And it also comes in the banana coconut, which is very, very popular. And then it also has capsules and powder. And I take 3 doses a day of the I-26 because I want my brain and spinal cord to work properly. I don't want to have problems that are going to wind me up dying 25 years early and be in a care unit for a year or two before I die. Okay, you have to make sure that your brain and your spinal cord is getting all the cholesterol, the good cholesterol it needs just to maintain itself, because these things are not like poured concrete. Okay, you don't get 1 dose from your barn and that's it forever. No, you're getting new every day because you're using every day. Okay, and so there's been a lot of misinformation come out of the medical profession when it comes to cholesterol. Okay, and so one of the things you can do is take our plant minerals, just the liquid plant minerals, it comes in quart bottles. It's clear. Don't get cherry mins because it's plant minerals with cherry juice and it's sticky. Just the plain plant minerals. And take 1/3 of a cup, a teacup on your sternum, on your belly. So that'll be 3/3 cups on your front end, sternum, upper belly, lower belly, and then do the same thing on your back between your shoulder blades, your upper low back, and then your low back. Okay, do that every day. And we actually have a DVD set. Okay, it's called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. Just if you've ever been in the military, you know about Praise the Lord and Pass the ammunition. Well, this is Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. And we had this guy who's in a coma, a Pastor Mike Freeman. Okay, and he was in a coma for 6 weeks, and the doctors called his family and said, look, he's only got minutes to live. If you want to say your goodbyes, you better come here and do it now. So his wife and one of our great distributors up there in New Hampshire, okay, called me and says, is there anything we can do for him? I said, well, does he have a IV? We can give him something intravenously? No. Does he have one of those tubes you can put something in? No. Okay. Well, just take those plant minerals and then just do as I said, with 1/3 of a cup of the plant minerals on the 3 times on the front, 3 times on the back. Okay. And on the 3rd day, he wakes up. He shaves. He goes to his church because he's a pastor. And he sits there for 12 hours on his TV and his radio stations telling his story over and over and over. And that is the source of this DVD set. Is Pastor Mike Freeman telling his story of how rubbing those plant minerals on himself, okay, actually it was rubbed on by his wife and our great hero, okay, Linda Tyler, okay, and he was able to absorb these minerals like intravenous through his skin, and just those minerals through his skin. This was 10 years ago. I mean, he is still out there like crazy telling people his story, okay, and getting and saving people. He has so many people in his church who are really, spiraling downwards, and he was able to save hundreds and hundreds of people with that information. Okay, and so that's what I would do to add to your program is get the plant minerals, a third of a cup 3 times a day on the front, third of the cup 3 times a day on the back, and you'll absorb it just like intravenous. 75 minerals.
Okay, so with that, you said don't do the cherry bends, but if I want to, I can still drink the cherry bends one, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, because that's my preferred flavor right now. Hey, I made sure to get the email address for the doctor yesterday, and I told him that I was going to send him links, which I'll send from the Holistic Health Coach website, of your documentary and your Dead Doctors Don't Lie, so that way he can see more about you and everything.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully he'll be interested, and we'll be happy to talk with him. Okay, in the meantime, you got some stuff to do, and again, stay away from the stuff that people use, and they're still eating all the bad stuff, okay, because you get cross-contaminated. Okay,
Right.
All right.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless you,
You
sir.
too. All right, Dr. Wallach. And so one way that you can get those plain plant-derived minerals on the body, like Dr. Wallach is recommending, is with a spray bottle. Just do a fine mist on the body, and as it's misting, it's absorbing into the skin. You have very little to no waste because it's not rolling off. As it dries, just spray a little bit more. You can get those little containers that are 4 ounces. 4 ounces is half a cup. Spray it all over a couple times a day, making sure that you use all of it. That one setting, fill it back up. The next time, fill it back up. So I just wanted to share that, Dr. Wallach. Next, we're going to go over to Phyllis. Phyllis, go ahead, and you're on live with Dr. Wallach. Welcome.
Thank you, Becca. Doc, I have 3 questions, so I'll get right to them and be concise. The first one is an emailed question from Kim. She has a relative with 2 children that have Batten disease. That's B like boy, Atten. I had to look this up, so for the sake of our viewers, it's considered a fatal genetic disorder, mostly beginning in childhood. So I guess some adults get it. Nervous system disorder interferes with the cell's ability to recycle a cellular residue called lipofuscin, which I've heard you talk about. Can these children be helped? We don't have age or height or weight information. So by 100 pounds, can they be helped with this terrible disease?
Absolutely. But they got to get rid of gluten and buckwheat and all the bad stuff so they can absorb. We have kids toddy, okay, which is our version of Enfamil and Similac, but we have 75 minerals in ours. They only have 1 or 2, okay. And it doesn't hurt to rub the liquid plant minerals on their backs and their bellies 3 times a day. Okay, it's one of the things I just love about this product, because kids with these weird diseases, but don't forget, they got to get rid of the wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Okay, they can have rice, they can have millet and beans, but they cannot have wheat, barley, rye, oats, or buckwheat in any way, shape, or form. If they want spaghetti, it's got to be spaghetti noodles made with rice, not wheat noodles. Okay.
Perfect. All right. And then we have Eric on YouTube. He's actually from Kenya, and he is asking for himself, I think, 5'6", 175 pounds, in his early 30s, with symptoms of schizophrenia. Can this be helped?
Okay. Yeah, because again, schizophrenia is a nutritional deficiency of the brain. Okay, so you got to get rid of all the bad foods. I guarantee he's eating gluten and buckwheat and all that kind of stuff. All that's got to go. Fried foods got to go. At 175 pounds, he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. if he's, can't afford that, to 2 Healthy Start packs per month. But I prefer the Healthy Brain and Heart packs, 2 of those a month, a full dose twice a day. He needs the MSM, 2 bottles a month, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time to support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, reef himself, including the skull. He also needs the, let's see here, I'd have him, again, rubbing those minerals on himself, or have somebody help him rub the minerals on him, on his front and his back, 3 times a day, just plant minerals. But I also want him to have the I-26. I'm going to have 3 doses a day, a dose for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I like the chewables, the soft chewables, 2 different flavors, but it comes in capsules or powder. He also needs the synaptive. He needs a synaptive. He needs to take 3 of those twice a day, so his brain cells can talk to each other nicely. And then I want him also to have a rebound or sports drink. Okay, I want him to have the sticks. Okay, usually in African countries, they'll have the sticks or they'll have the canisters. They won't have the cans because the cans do have carbonation in them. We don't want that because you have to pop the tops the night before you're going to drink them, put them in the icebox, drink them the next day. So there's no more carbonation in them. But he can use the sticks. He can make his drink right away. He'll get 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. That's in addition to everything he's going to get from the Healthy Brain and Heart pack. And don't forget the I-26. And don't forget the synaptive. Okay.
Perfect. And then we have a question from Marianne in the chat. She has a client, a woman, upper 60s, 5'4", 140 pounds, horrible sciatica, and a leaky heart valve. Can we help her client?
Yes. Okay. Leaky heart valve and sciatica, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go. And also the carbonated water because it neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. And then, let's see here, needs at 140 pounds, needs the, I'd go with 2 and the Healthy Brain and Heart packs a month. If finances are a problem again, they go with the Healthy Start pack, 2 of those. Okay. And let's see here. What were her main symptoms again?
Horrible sciatica and the leaky heart valve.
Okay. So go there. Also needs the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 2 bottles a month there. So you take 3 twice a day. They'll support healthy blood flow for blocked arteries in the brain, the heart, the kidneys, and so forth, the liver, muscles. And then also needs the, I'd go with the I-26, 3 servings a day, 1 at breakfast, 1 at lunch, 1 at dinner time. It's going to help with electrical signals from the brain down into the legs and so forth. And people will treat sciatica by treating the sciatica. But in many cases, it actually starts with osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the spinal cord, and the spinal cord sends bad signals down the nerves, the branch off of the spinal cord down into the legs. Okay. So it's imperative that they get the MSM, the collagen peptides. That's where I would go with that. Okay. Don't forget the rebound.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Keep us informed how these folks are doing. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Phyllis and Dr. Wallach. Let's fit in one more. Patty, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
This is Patty, correct? Or Patty?
Patty. Yeah. So currently, right now, my dad is in the hospital. He was in there about a month ago. We brought him in. Basically, he has heart failure. He's also he's got a bad liver and bad kidneys. There's a mass on his lung, but they wanted to do a biopsy to determine if it is cancer or if it's blood cancer. However, the mass has only grown in a year and a half, a millimeter. But the problem is that he has extremely high calcium levels, and every try to get him off the fluids, because right now he's stable at the hospital, but every time they try to get him off, he ends up getting blood in his catheter again. And that's what I originally brought him back to the hospital for, was the blood in the catheter. So I don't know how we can manage that high calcium level. I'm really scared.
Okay, how much does he weigh?
He weighs 121 pounds, and he's 5'6", and he's 72 years old.
Okay. Yeah, when you have high calcium in your blood, that means that you have a calcium deficiency going in your mouth. And so your body's pulling calcium out of your bones. And so your blood calcium is going up as a result.
Okay.
That's where the calcium's coming from, is from his own bones. So what he needs at 121 pounds is to get rid of all the bad foods. Okay. Do you want me to go over them again, or did you pick them up?
Yeah, go over them one more time.
Okay, well, get the book. It's called Dr. Wallach-It's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It's 300 pages of safe recipes, and it gives a very detailed list of good food, bad foods. Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Wallach-It's Cooking Without the Bad Foods.
Okay.
And then you want to give him, I'd go with two bottles because of his age and everything. I give him 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month, a full dose, I think, twice a day. I want him to have 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. That's going to help him rebuild bone and cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue.
Bottles of the MSM. What did you say? 2 bottles of the what?
2 bottles of the MSM.
MSN. Okay.
MSM. Mary,
Monkey.
Sam, Mary.
Monkey.
Okay. And then because I did order, we just got the 90 for Life, just the starter pack.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the lady had recommended, I guess you have something particularly for the kidneys.
Yeah.
She said it tastes really bad, but he can chase it with something, juice or something. But
Okay, well, these are not eating things. And for the kidneys, I want them to have, we call our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. You can take 3 of those twice a day. Be 2 bottles a month. They're small bottles, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. They'll support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in the brain, the heart, the kidneys. We take people that haven't urinated for 10 years. They're on dialysis 6 days. They're on dialysis 6 days a week. We put them on the same program we just talked to you about your dad, especially with the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. And in 2 weeks' time, he started urinating. So they dropped the dialysis down from 6 days a week to 3 days a week. And in 2 more weeks, everything was perfect. So they just dropped him off the dialysis completely, and he walked out the door, perfectly normal person. Okay. And so this is you give the body what it needs, and it has the capacity to heal itself. If you just treat the symptoms, you're treating the symptoms. You're not getting down to the basic root cause of the problem.
do you think that there would be a chance that he would be able to, because the catheter thing is new, so he's only had that for like the past maybe 3 weeks. But because of his stay in the hospital, they had put the catheter in, and then they tried to remove it, but he couldn't urinate on his own. So then they ended up having to put it in. He had to come home with it this last time. And
okay, so we'll see, because again, like this, I have so many people that haven't urinated in years. When we put them on the program, they start urinating again. Okay. That's Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. That's with the Healthy Brain and Heart pack and with the MSM, not by itself. Don't just don't do that by itself.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Patty. And Dr. Wallach, I know that you don't like to cut people off when you're in the middle of helping them, because that's what you do. Thank you so much for joining us here, Dr. Wallach, on Daily with Doc. Folks, we just want to thank you for taking the time and investing in yourself. Yes, time is worth money. It is an investment. Just listening to this program is an investment into what you can do, because you're gaining knowledge in helping yourself. Now, making those dietary changes, like Dr. Wallach has mentioned, that also takes an investment, folks. But the thing about it is, those convenience foods that are empty calories, that are actually robbing your body of the ability to absorb nutrition, they cost a lot of money. You cut those out, and that leaves more room for the good stuff, including quality supplementation, like what Dr. Wallach is recommending here on our program. You can find the good foods, bad foods list also on our website, dailywithdoc.com. You can print it from there and be able to have it with you wherever you go. If you don't want to print it, you want to save it, you can save it as a link on your cell phone or on your computer. You can also do screenshots of it so that you have it with you when you go grocery shopping, and focus on those items that are on the good food side. If it's not on the good food side, don't put it in your shopping cart. If it's on the bad food side, you absolutely do not want that going into your home, folks, because of what Dr. Wallach shared about cross-contamination. There's a lot of things that we can do on our own to help ourselves. We are not chemical deficient, we're nutrient deficient. So we also want to make sure that the food is not hindering absorption. So if I could get my co-hosts on with me today, I just want to thank them. It was a busy, busy day as we had people out on YouTube monitoring and commenting and helping keep that conversation going. We got Coach Rod out there on all the different platforms helping and monitoring. We've got Phyllis that's out there monitoring also. She brought in some of those questions. Thank you, Phyllis, for doing that and also putting information into the chat. We've got Marilyn that's putting a lot of information into the chat, doing that amazing dictation that she also does, and Sherry watching the different platforms, letting people into the room, which all of us do, and making sure that people are getting access to the information that you are hearing today. We've got also Albert helping to let people in, joining us all the way from South Africa. There was a question here from Kenya. Yes, you can get the products around the world. It does take some creative shipping options, but it is possible. Where there's a will, there is a way, folks. You are worth taking that little bit of time, a little money to get the nutrients that the body absolutely is starving for into your hands. And then we also have AJ, who is joining us as one of our, he's the assistant to the executive production manager and helping get all of the different platforms going and making sure that things are getting loaded to them. So thank you, AJ, for doing that. And then our last but not least, our executive production manager, my dear sister, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, who helps organize everything and pulls it all together. Folks, we are just a very small handful of the amazing community that is offered by the company that Dr. Wallach founded many, many years ago. This is a resource for that community and the people that have joined hands with Dr. Wallach on this crusade to, he says, save the world. Not just humanity, but save the world, because there's things that we can do as individuals to help ourselves, the humans, but there's also things that we can do to help our environment and our surroundings. And that's where the world part comes in. Folks, if you've been listening today and you can relate to having that desire to help others, join us. Get back with the person that shared this program with you and let them know, hey, I want to be part of something greater than myself, something that I can be proud of, something that I have purpose that goes beyond what me as an individual can do on my own. We are an organization, we are a company, we help each other. And it's not just help each other grow physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So get with the person that shared this program with you. If there's nobody to thank, go to our website, dailywithdoc.com, and use that contact option. Now, we have a certified holistic health coach course. If you're interested in becoming a certified holistic health coach or want more information about that, go to coachwithdoc.com. And you can get some more information and join Dr. Wallach as a coach in this great crusade. So I don't think that I forgot anything. I want to do a shout out also to those that are listening on the radio, and also those individuals that are keeping this program going for those that are on the airwaves that way. I love the fact that we have technology and we can get this through the internet, through Spotify, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Patreon. Oh, the list goes on and on and on. But where you're at, put in the comments that you're watching on that platform so that we know that we're actually reaching the people. And then again, don't forget to get involved in sharing the message and earn your way to free product, folks. I am giving away free product. This is open to anybody and everybody that shares this message on the channels that they watch and listen to. Go to dwdgiveaway.com. That's dwdgiveaway.com. So until next time, thank you so much again for joining us. My name is Becca Dukes, and you are worth the investment. Bye for now.
Record.